Welcome to Vitality VIP's Wellness Elite channel. Let's start.
Hi, I am Dr. John, who supports natural healing methods. Many of you may be wondering what changes will occur in your health if you start consuming turmeric regularly. I realize that many people are skeptical about the reports regarding the impact of plants on human health. However, after listening to today's video, many people will definitely change their minds, especially about turmeric. So if you suffer from chronic inflammation, obesity, diabetes, or have problems with psoriasis or vitiligo or liver, sit comfortably. This video is for you. In addition to listing the health benefits in today's video, at the end I will tell you recipe for golden milk, which is a traditional medicinal drink from Ayurvedic medicine, of course containing turmeric. We will start the video with the effect of this plant on the nervous system. Scientific reports indicate that the compounds contained in turmeric, especially curcumin, positively affect the cells of the nervous system, and very importantly, protect those cells. This is really important in today's times, when the plague of nervous system diseases is increasing. This means a lower incidence, attention, of Alzheimer's disease, followed by Parkinson's disease and depression, which, judging by the faces of people we pass on the street every day, is affecting an increasing number of people. Moreover, there are indications that curcumin may support the treatment of multiple sclerosis and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. In my further considerations, I will focus for a moment on the link between the use of curcumin and the course of Alzheimer's disease. To begin with, I will share an interesting fact with you. According to previous observations, the frequency of Alzheimer's disease among elderly residents of India is more than 4 times lower than among residents of the United States in the same age group. You may have already guessed that the frequency of consuming curry, of which turmeric is one of the main ingredients, is responsible for this state of affairs. Continuing the topic, it is worth mentioning another study, conducted on Asians aged 60 to 93. It showed that people who occasionally, frequently, or very frequently used curry achieved much better results on the MAMSE scale, which is a short scale for assessing mental status, than those who consumed it rarely or never. And 2 more sentences about depression. As it turns out, it is really effective in fighting this condition, and this relationship is demonstrated by a meta-analysis, which is a study of the highest quality. So how long and in what quantity should turmeric be used in this condition? It has been shown that after 8 weeks of introducing turmeric into the diet of people with severe depressive symptoms, an improvement in their mood was observed. I will add that it was a dose of 500 milligrams taken twice a day, and the best effects were achieved in people struggling with atypical depression. But the positive effects on the nervous system are not the only benefit of consuming turmeric. In times when each of us knows someone who has had cancer, the anti-cancer action of this plant can be invaluable. Observational studies show that curcumin alone, or in combination with other substances, prevents and supports the treatment of colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, and breast cancer. In addition to prostate cancer, multiple myeloma, lung cancer, oral cavity cancer, and squamous cell carcinoma of the head and neck, this plant is also capable of weakening the reach of the world's #1 killer, which claims the most human lives due to chronic diseases. This, of course, refers to cardiovascular diseases. Research unequivocally demonstrates that turmeric effectively protects against cardiovascular diseases, such as heart enlargement or heart failure. Moving forward, it is impossible not to mention its beneficial impact on the digestive system. It is a wonderful complement to the treatments used in the management of inflammatory bowel disease, including Crohn's disease, and of course, the second most common disease, ulcerative colitis. Researchers arrived at these conclusions in one of their studies, where they evaluated the effectiveness of using curcumin in patients struggling with these diseases. You may be wondering how much curcumin the patients took. For the first month, individuals with ulcerative colitis took 550 milligrams of curcumin twice daily, followed by an additional 550 milligrams the following month. In the case of patients with Crohn's disease, they took 360 milligrams 3 times daily for the first month, followed by 360 milligrams 4 times daily for the next 2 months. Now the question is, what were the treatment outcomes? Well, the use of turmeric in these amounts contributed to a significant reduction in the symptoms of the aforementioned diseases and inflammatory markers. However, we will only briefly touch on the digestive system. It turns out that this plant is also effective in reducing the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. According to research, it can alleviate the symptoms of this condition by up to 60%. Continuing to discuss the digestive system, it is worth noting that this substance is helpful in combating the Helicobacter pylori bacteria, which leads to the development of many digestive system disorders, including peptic ulcer disease, gastritis, and even stomach cancer. These relationships are definitely confirmed by research, which has shown a positive correlation between consuming turmeric and reducing the frequency of peptic ulcers. Scientific studies have also confirmed the significant role of curcumin in preventing and treating diabetes and related disorders, including diabetic nephropathy, microangiopathy, damage to small blood vessels, and retinopathy, pathological changes in the retina of the eye. Furthermore, it contributes to reducing the concentration of glucose and glycosylated hemoglobin in the blood. Now, another extremely important function of turmeric is its anti-inflammatory effect. Those who suffer from diseases with a chronic inflammatory state know how big of a problem this is. We often reach for anti-inflammatory drugs, but unfortunately, they are not without side effects. Turmeric can help us in this regard, and there are thousands of scientific studies that confirm the truth of these words, including the alleviation of serious inflammatory conditions, even those associated with joint diseases. For example, one of the first studies confirming these properties was conducted in 1980. It involved 18 young patients with rheumatoid arthritis who were divided into two groups. The first group received 1.2 grams of curcumin per day, while the second was given a nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug called phenylbutazone. Just to add, both treatments lasted for 2 weeks. Final conclusions were surprising. It turned out that curcumin showed similar anti-rheumatic effects to medication, and patients experienced reduction in swelling and morning joint stiffness, among other things. And now the most important thing. It is worth noting that they did not experience any side effects. Speaking about turmeric, and especially its active ingredient curcumin, it is impossible not to mention its protective effect on our liver. Scientific reports show that these substances can support the treatment of certain liver diseases, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, as well as drug-induced damage to this organ. Furthermore, according to observations made by scientists, curcumin may protect the liver from the toxic effects of arsenic. I'll just make a small reminder. Click the button below and subscribe to our channel for more important and interesting information. According to scientific studies, supplementing with turmeric may also be helpful in alleviating symptoms of kidney inflammation in the course of lupus. For clarification, this is one of the most common clinical manifestations of systemic lupus erythematosus, which is a multi-organ autoimmune disease, for those who do not know. While preparing materials for today's episode, my attention was drawn to a certain study that included 24 patients with recurrent or treatment-resistant lupus nephritis. It turned out that in people taking one 500 milligrams curcumin tablet with every meal, there was a significant reduction in hematuria and proteinuria. I would like to add that these effects were observed after 3 months of treatment with the above-mentioned amount of curcumin. There are also studies indicating a correlation between supplementing with curcumin and reducing psoriasis lesions. These findings are significant because conventional medicine has little to offer for psoriasis patients besides expensive biologic drugs, which are often not accessible due to their high cost. And while we're on the topic of skin diseases, I'd like to mention another condition, vitiligo. This is a disease in which pigment-producing cells in our skin are destroyed, leading to the formation of white patches. What does this have to do with turmeric? Well, scientific research suggests that due to its antioxidant properties, it may help alleviate symptoms of this condition. In one study, patients were treated with a combination of narrowband phototherapy and local application of curcuminoids. The final conclusions indicate that implementing both elements simultaneously is more effective in combating vitiligo than phototherapy alone. You can easily find good creams and ointments with turmeric extracts online, as well as in pharmacies and herbal stores. Turmeric is a spice that works great as an ingredient in beverages such as tea, juices, smoothies, or lemonade. Of particular note is the so-called golden milk, a specialty of Ayurvedic medicine, used, among other things, to treat colds, including cough and sore throat. To prepare it, you need the following components: 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and 1 cup of cow's milk or any plant-based drink. Making golden milk is really simple. Just put all the components in a small saucepan and then heat them up, but be careful on low or medium heat. During thermal processing, everything should be stirred thoroughly to combine the ingredients well. And remember, honey is best added at the end when the drink has cooled down a bit. And that's all from me for today. Thank you for your attention, and as always, see you in the next episode. Don't forget to click below and subscribe. Goodbye.